How is it going? My name is Lucas and welcome to another episode of Amps of the Axe FX3. Today we are going to be checking out the Friedman Harry Brown line. Now it's undergoing a few revisions as of late. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to play all 6 amps for you. I'm going to check them out. So let's dive right in and let me show you what I'm talking about first off. So the older models before Saigonis amp modeling, it's in the Axe FX3, it's just a couple of renditions back. The BE, the regular BE, basically the BE and the HBE that were named that, they were based off of the old Marsha model. Same thing with the C45, and then version 1 and version 2 were based off of Mark Day. He's a employee of Fractal. He releases a bunch of good stuff. Check him out. That was the BE version 1 and version 2 was based off of his amp. And then when you come down, you have the HBE 2018. This was based off of the HBE 2018. So we've had it was kind of jumbled. The amps were kind of modeled in different parts. But after current models with Saigonis amp modeling, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Correct me if I'm not. We still have the Marsha that's in there, but everything else is based off of the later BE 100. And we have the fat position in there. It's kind of more solidified, and we have more models. So technically, it's all from the same amp. So it's all from the BE 100, but we have every single possible thing is modeled off of here. What you heard in the intro, that riff, that was actually from the Marsha. This is actually like my favorite one. I just really like this one a lot. It's a lot different. The way the bass response to it is a lot different. I actually turned the gain way down. All right, I know I've been talking a whole lot. Let me kind of go over some preliminary stuff, and I'm going to play through all the different models. EQ, it's going to be different for different ones. Let me just go through them right now. Just kind of pay attention to what model is up at the top. See, it's different for different ones because they're all very, very different. I am using my Mayonnaise Duvel. We're in drop C with some bare knuckle War Pigs for the pickups. IR wise, let me just go through because I'm gonna forget. So some of them I'm using GGD Cali, which is some of the best V30s ever made, and then for some I am using GGD Zilla, and then and then I have GGD Gold Stack in there, which is the greenback. So we're getting a bunch of different IR flavors. The BE HBEs, both one, I think they're pretty much dialed in with greenbacks as it is, but these amps are also different. I know they all come technically from the same amp, but they all respond differently to different things. Drive wise, I think I have the Maxon and I have the Klon in here. I have the Precision Drive, so it's kind of like the BE video that I did. I'm using Eternal Love on 6 just because I wanted to be different. So I'm using a bunch of different things because they all don't sound the same. They sound very different. So you have to change things up to get things to sound really good. So did I go over that in the wires? Yes. All right, we went over all of the technical boring stuff. I'm going to do some playing for you, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about everything at the end. Now that we've gone through all of those HBEs, the side note I kind of want to put in here, you can achieve Periphery 3 tone with these, because this is what was used on Periphery 3. The exact Friedman amp that was modeled that they used, technically, I don't think it technically exists anymore, meaning since they've been redone, but I think they either used Voice 3 or Voice 2, and they used Misha Mix, I think 1 or 2, correct me if I'm wrong, it was one of the Misha mixes, and they used this, and they used it without a drive. I found on this one particular, since we're right here, I used Eternal Love on here, but I found when we went back and we were playing, I didn't like it as much. Play around with the drives. Certain things that you want to sound good don't sound good, and I mean, a majority for the Friedmans, I mean, they're basically based on a Marshall is pretty much what they are, so you kind of go in with it with that frame of mind, but they are very different. I mean, of course, cutting the mids, and if you raise up the gain knob, you get those bass tones and the low mids are going to come in, so you kind of have to adjust accordingly. I don't know if you noticed on a lot of these models, I have the bass pretty much dropped down on it because it is very, very bassy. And then look in here, I cut some out. I mean, I didn't have to cut out some high end. I added a little bit of 4K, took out some 1K. So shaping things here and there is definitely going to help with your tone. The HBEs are very dynamic. What I mean by dynamic is that they respond differently to different IRs and to different drives, as you heard, because I originally wasn't going to switch to IRs, but as I was going along, I just decided to do it. As I said before, the Marsha is my favorite because it's so sonically different than the other ones. It has like less bass in it. It feels a little less compressed. I don't know. I just really like the Marsha. Same thing with the BE model. The HBE, now the C45, this one is really good. A lot of people love this one, so a lot of people just load this one up by default. I've never really had luck with that. I mean, I kept some of the things at default, I guess, if you want to give it a testament to that. And see no high end. This one is just the C45. It's like a it's essentially like a bright switch, more or less is what it is. And as you can hear, it's a very kind of, I don't see, it's sort of genty. It's kind of a very like spanky type of tone, which it has its uses, and I really like the C45, and I know that's a lot of other people's favorites. VS1 is just the voice left. So on the real amp, there's left, right, and middle for the voicing. It kind of shifts. I think it shifts the mid. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it shifts. I want to say it shifts the upper mids. I think it shifts the mids around, or the highs. I can't exactly remember, but it shifts one of those around. So that's what you hear. And then you have the V1. It's left, and it has the fat knob on it. This one was kind of one of the new ones they put in. It is really fat. It has lots of bass on it. But what's really good about these is you can kind of go toward the model that gravitates toward your guitar. So this guitar, it's kind of bassy because of the War Pigs. They're a little bit bassy in there. But if you have a guitar that's really bright, this one would be perfect for it. This one right here, voice middle bright. This one is kind of brighter than the other ones. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Let me go down here. I think like this one is like, if you're just getting into the Friedmans and you haven't messed with them very much, I believe this one is a good place to start. Just because I find it's a little easier to dial in. It's not as dark. You don't have to kind of fight it as much. Yeah, you can cut a little bit of the brightness off right there, and I think so. If you're trying to, little side note, if you're trying to go for that Periphery 3 tone, and like if you tone match it from the album, I think either 2 or 3 is gonna be the best place to start for that. And of course, you know, give it your own flavor on it. Once again, I thought everything from tone page right here in the amp block. I know this is kind of boring. I'm just kind of discussing everything. Let me wrap things up really quick. Drive wise, play with your drives, because as you heard, some sounded better with the Max on, some sounded better with the Klon. And whenever I need to like clean things up on an amp, I use the precision drive because it does a good job of that, because you have that attack knob in there and you can get things kind of spanky. But that's going to wrap them up for the HBEs. They're all very good. It's kind of like, what flavor do you want? Which one works better with your IR that you like? Which one works better with your pickups? Which one works better with your guitar? You kind of got to play with them, and you just find out. I really like the Marsha. I think the Marsha and maybe Voice 2 and Voice 3 are kind of my favorite. But like I said, it just works better with my setup. We're using them with greenbacks, does affect the sound a lot. The Marsha, I dialed that in with the V30s just because that's just what it was feeling, and that's just kind of what I got it to go in there. Don't be discouraged if you try and dial these in. If this is like your favorite amp and you really like Friedman's, don't be discouraged, because it's not the easiest amp in the Axe-Fx to dial in, but it is very rewarding once you kind of get it in there. You just kind of got to shape that bass and those lower mids. You kind of got to like filter them out, and you kind of got to get them to sit right, and once you do, it is very rewarding. Guys, thank you so much for sitting through this video. I'm sorry if it ran a little bit long. You got a lot of stuff out there vying for your attention, and you chose to spend some time here. I really do appreciate it. If you're unsubscribed, you should. I do lots of Axe-Fx tutorials, mixing tutorials. I do funny meme stuff from time to time. I don't want you to miss any of that, so make sure you are subscribed. If you thought this video was cool, leave me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. On the next episode of Amps of the Axe-Fx 3, I kind of went out of order with this because I kind of wanted to go over that. We're going to be going over the USA Blues, which I think that's the last Mesa amp. We're going to be looking at some Fender Vibra stuff. And then we are going to be on to the train wrecks. And that is going to be it. We are wrapping up Amps of the Axe-Fx 3 at a rapid pace. And once again, thank you for showing up. Thank you for watching this video. I really do appreciate it more than you'll ever know. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.